I'm on. Today's message is, are you robbing God's bank? There's many different ways to do that. Someone came to church one time over in this little town. There were very many people come to this church. There's probably 20 people, 25 people came to the church, and these two couple, or this one couple was there, and there was a fella who that they knew that was dying, and they wanted a healing in the church to pray for him. He didn't even care enough to come to the church to get prayer. And as they were praying, God showed me this clock. And the background of the clock was that of a dime, but it was huge. It was huge dime. And it was set like on a quarter after. Excuse me. It was set on like a quarter after. And I saw that vision as plain as day. I saw it as plain as day. God showed me that vision. And I told the couple when we were praying, I says, the Lord has told me something, but I don't know what it is. And so I prayed to the Lord, and He told me that the man had been robbing God. He had been robbing God. And because the dime was the 10% that we owe God, that money is not ours. That money is not ours. Let me read a verse to you right here. It says, would a man rob God? Would a man rob God? It's in the book of Malachi. Okay, the NIV says it like this. Will a mere mortal rob God? Yet you rob me, but you ask, how are we robbing you? In tithes and offerings. If we know to do right and we don't do it, then it's a sin. If we promise God something and we are not doing it, I try to give a little bit more, actually. And when something comes along that is needed, you know, in the church, I try to answer that the best that I can. And if you make a promise to God, you better pay that promise, because the Lord will require it of your hand. If you promise it to God, He'll take it from you. Why? Because you owe it to Him. None of you out there would let anyone owe you $1 million and walk away from it. None of you. You'd have that person in court so fast, make his head spin. But we rob God in other ways, in things that are just as precious, that belong to God. They're with things that are just as precious that belong to God. Okay? And our time at work. You don't just owe your factory that time at work. You owe God that time at work. You owe being honest in the time that you give. There is nothing wrong with, after you've gotten your work finished, to go and sit down and have a little leisure, sit back and take it easy if you're caught up in particular jobs. Some jobs are piece rate, and that's a little different. You stand there all day and do just what you do. There's no way, hardly no way you can rob God in that way, unless you're just not caring about what you're doing, just any little thing you can get away with, you know, seeing how much you can get away with, the dishonest things of people. Sometimes that's the way people live their lives. They'll say they're Christians, but yet they do everything they can to rob their neighbors around them. And the Bible tells us in Exodus 20:17, thou shalt not covet Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's anything, his houses, his land, his wife. You don't covet what belongs to your neighbor. And when you sit back and scheme ways of getting things away from people, or if the opportunity just falls your way and you jump on it with both feet, stamping out what is ever in your way, you're no better than the Clintons. That's the way they live life. They take every opportunity, and sometimes they make up a couple opportunities of their own. And in those things, you're robbing God. If you're voting Democrat because you think that they have the best way of doing things, but yet they are for murdering innocent unborn babies, you are robbing God. You're robbing God. You're stealing from what God, from life that God is trying to put together. When you stop a life, you're robbing God. Amen. When people do every dishonest thing, and this goes on in the church, some people will argue their way to the top politically. They'll argue their way to the top, and that just should not be how life in church was meant to be. You know, in the political arena, man, I'm a vigorous fighter. And when it comes to the standard of religion, I am a vigorous fighter. When it comes to arguing with the atheist about is God real or not, I'm a vigorous fighter. But when I go to church, I'm humble to my brothers and sisters as a mouse is around a house full of rats. You know, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, the Bible tells us. So, if there is no other way that you can do this, bringing yourself to this spot in God where you can let Him take control of your life in this fashion. And yes, I believe that Christ was exactly like I'm living my life. There was a time when Jesus took up the whip and He ran him out of church because of dishonoring the house of God. And there was a time when He was led to the Lamb, when He was led to the altar like a lamb ready for slaughter, and opened not His mouth. And opened not His mouth. And we're to live our life the same way. And tithes and offering is not the only way that we can rob God, but it is a way. God expects us to be honest, showing people. Listen, your witness to people, that is one of the most important things that will ever happen in your life. When you're teaching the young, when you're bringing up young disciples and you're teaching them, you have to be really, really clear about what the integrity of what you're doing is, and make sure that they understand it. And I'm absolutely sure that my dream last night was about this young man. I was robbing a bank. I was robbing a bank and getting caught. And I've had so many 12-hour dreams or 12-hour days that when I woke up, this is what I said. Right now, that seems like it might be a good thing. You know, I could go rest. I could go lay down and rest. This life, man, there's going to be some, you know, I don't want to do that really. Get caught at something illegal so I can go rest. There's a lot of institutionalized people do that kind of stuff all the time, but I had no desire for that. This morning, the thought did come through my mind. But when you're raising up those young men, what this dream was about, because I was telling him some things we could do once our work is done at the factory. Now I got to go and explain all that to him about there's a time and a place for everything, you know. And he's going to be amazed that God knows what his heart is. Amen. All right, God bless you. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you again next time right here. Another great message. Hey, go make up some old messages of your own and put them on here. Crossing the Middle Ministry.